Welcome to another painting tutorial. In this one we're going to look at the Stormcast Liberators. This is the free miniature that came with a white dwarf, all assembled up here, and just going to start off black primer. So I'm airbrushing this guy, and the idea is to do a quick and easy non-metallic metal sort of a look. And I'm going to do all the heavy lifting with the airbrush, and then add some details by hand, and yeah, hopefully it's a really quick and easy way to do it. Okay, so saddle brown is the sort of base coat I'm putting on all of the gold areas, so it's just like a nice deep brown, and go over everything here just to give it a nice even base coat. So this was a test sort of a model, and I think one of the things I learned with it is I wanted to do maybe a bit more of a medium brown starting off. So this color here, this hazard brown or hazard orange or whatever it is, kind of want a medium brown, maybe like a Tau Light Ochre XV88, something like that, to go on. So giving the model a full sort of a coat of this might have been a better way to get a nice brighter gold, and then doing a wash sort of a look later. Anyways, what I'm doing is I'm kind of spot highlighting things with this medium brown, which is going on as medium brown. It's a bit more of an orange. And then the idea is that I'll bring up these highlights with some lighter yellow-brown sort of colors, and then do an edge highlight on it with a brush, and then it'll be all done. So this I'm using Badger airbrush paints for all of this. I have the set of those, and they're nice, already pre-mixed, so there's no worries about having to add water or airbrush medium or anything like that. Another option would be Vallejo Model Air colors. And of course, Forge World now has airbrush paints if you have access to those. But really any paints will work. You can use GW paints in airbrush, you just have to water them down a little bit or add a bit of airbrush medium, which is basically the lanthanum medium sort of stuff. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking the lighter colors, and I'm sort of bringing the highlights up using sort of a zenith highlighting type of a technique, so coming down from the top of the model. It's not a true non-metallic metal, but it gives you a nice impression for that for a tabletop sort of a level. And that's all I'm trying to aim for here. Something fast and easy that looks decent. So the next one here, this Craven, sort of a brighter yellow, and you can see I'm just trying to bring up some of the gradients there on the various spots. So I'm just kind of picking out corners of things and edges, and just trying to give an overall kind of impression without messing up the model too much. So one of the things, this is looking nice and bright under this light here, but unfortunately it didn't. It kind of dried a bit darker, I guess. So I should have brought those medium browns up a bit more, and that would have helped keep those lighter colors light. So I'm using a dark gray here to base coat the hammer. That's actually the only silvery thing on this model, or at least the way I'm doing it. Oh, sorry, and that little chainmail on there in the middle there. And then I'm using a light gray here to sort of bring out some of those edges, and just trying to get a nice sort of a bright half, and then fading to the darker color on the opposite side. And then what I'll do is I'll use all my edge highlighting to give the final impression of the non-metallic metal. So I'm having a little bit of problems here with getting with the tip drying on the airbrush, so you just have to spray out the paint and clean off the tip a little bit. And getting that lightening there. Okay, final highlight for the airbrushing will be a little bit of this snow white color, so it's basically a white highlight. Sorry about my hint in the middle of the way there. The white, I find it gets a bit spattery. I think that the needle was a bit dirty, so I should be a bit more careful with that. Which is why you do a test model to begin with. You don't do your whole army all at once and then expect everything to work out just perfectly. So yeah, fairly happy with how that all turned out, and doing a little bit more highlighting here with that white. I think next time around I'll avoid using the white and just go up to the lightest grays that I have available and call that a day. Yeah, I tried to highlight some of the gold with the white here, and that was a mistake. Okay, now using some Kantor Blue here to base coat the shield, and trying to get in there nicely. That white, I probably could have done that by hand, and that would have saved me a bit of hassle. The shaft on that hammer there, I do a bit of a non-metallic using the Baylor Brown and Zamesi Desert. Zamesi Desert is what I'm going to be using for the highlights of the gold here, which you'll see in a minute. So the blue here is going to be on the shoulder pads, a bit of the talberd, and the shield. That's it. Okay, so Zamesi Desert edge highlighting here. So this does take a little bit of time to get all these edges done, so going around the whole model trying to pick out every single edge I can find and giving it a nice thick edge highlight. If I was doing this full non-metallic metal properly, I would be building up these edge highlights with the various sort of medium browns and then doing a white edge highlight as well. But because this is meant for fast painting of lots of troops, I'm just doing the Zamesi Desert, and that's what it looks like all done. There's some work in progress pictures on my blog too if you want to check those out. You can see sort of full images of some of these steps. Okay, so using the Celestra Grey, edge highlighting all the non-metallic silver. And the idea here is you're really just trying to give the eye the impression that there's some sort of metallic kind of a look there. It's not a true metal look, but it's enough that you get the impression of it. And of course I should have filled in that gap in the shoulder pad, but I didn't. So doing the medium blue highlights here and just trying to blend it in, watered down paints and that sort of thing. Okay, and then the final edge highlights for the blue. I could have done Space Wolf Gray or something like that instead of this, but I think this works out okay. And then for the haft, the handle here on the hammer and the sword on his belt, that's going to be Khorne Red, followed by a black wash and a pink highlight. Ushabti Bone for that scroll thing there. Here we go, Nuin Oil for the handle. And trying to do a little bit of black highlight or shading on the silver there. Seraphim Sepia wash on that. And again, like I said, these guys are meant to be tabletop, fast painting, so I'm not too worried about doing multiple layers and highlights. Just trying to look for kind of a base, a shade, and a highlight. Okay, Emperor's Children for the highlights here. And sort of in the between there, I've done some sand on the base and painted that a dark brown. And yeah, just finishing up this highlights. Not perfect, but decent. I kind of like the pink over the dark red. It doesn't end up looking too pink, but I think it gives a decent reddish sort of a color. And there's the guy all finished. So yeah, fairly fast paint job. An easy way to paint a whole army in this kind of a method. And yeah, be sure to check out my blog for more pictures and some work in progress stuff. And yeah, I'll be doing the rest of the Age of Sigmar guys. For the characters, I'll be doing a better non-metallic metal. And yeah, let me know what you think.